in the quiet, like a song that never found its end. I reach for you, but you're not there. Just the echo of what we used to live. I'm holding on to shadows, hoping they could feel like you, but they slip right through. If tomorrow forgets your name, I'll carve it into every star. If the distance builds a wall, I'll break it down to where you are.
All right, thank you for joining me again. If you're just joining us, this is Prime Parent with Dr. Toyin Ajayi-Osakwe. Last week I started a topic, surviving the economic hardship and its effects on parenting and the families. So I highlighted a whole lot of things, and for those of you who may have missed that episode, you can actually listen to it again on our Facebook and YouTube. The handle is the Prime Parent. The Prime Parent, that is the handle. You can just go there, and there are a whole lot of other videos that you may that will be beneficial to you. I started by highlighting some certain points that are major issues to us presently. I started by talking about family disintegration, which is the male issue presently. Now, I came up with this topic because we need to first of all dissect our situations. Then, as we progress, we'll begin to look for solutions, things that we can do to cushion these effects and to get better. I mentioned quite a number of things when I was talking about family disintegration. Now, when I say disintegration in this regard, I said it could be mild, it could be moderate, and it could be severe. Now, let's start with the mild, as I stated, talking about breaking down of family structures, relationship being cracked down. Now, because of the economic hardship presently, a lot of families are not living together. You will discover that there are people who, because of the nature of job, okay, and the distance, when we are talking about transportation, distance where they reside and where their workplace is so much that as of the time they begin to consider the cost of transportation in a week compared to what that job is giving to them, they will be running at a very, very, big deficit. So you will discover a parent will decide, especially men, to stay over in the place of work for 5 days, from Monday to Friday. On Fridays they will return. Within that period, a whole lot of things must have happened at home. That is presence. Okay, could have been able to influence one way or the other, but because it's absent, a whole lot of things could go wrong. I move from there to talk about, because of this same economic hardship, a lot of married women who ought to have been an example of what we call chastity, a situation where women now let their guards down because of what they are going to get from a boss. So they offer themselves to some of these men. It may not even be their boss in the office. It may just even be somebody that is not even close to her in any rank, in order for these people to feed their children. we should not take these things lightly. Gradually, our society is plunging into some level of destruction, both physically and spiritually. That's just the truth. There was this voice note that somebody posted on TikTok. Okay, and then the thing, I just stumbled on it really on TikTok, and there was a conversation between two people, a man and a woman. This woman, from that conversation, she is a single mother with children, and then he had to engage this man, okay, on sexual escapades in order to have monetary gain. And most of our concern in that discussion, okay, is our children, our children, our children. To the point that they even discuss some kind of things that is not, it's not appropriate to mention it on radio. You understand? She just have to let herself be used in that manner. And I know there are some people listening to me, you may fall into that category. Now, what manner of a woman or a mother, you understand, could be, being able to open up? Could any mother be able to open up to her children the kind of job or the things she does in order to bring money to feed her children? The man in the question here is also a married man. So at this point now, he is also hustling. So whatever that he has for his own family has to be splitted into two. Because as long as he's getting this pleasure from this woman, he has to continue to service that area. And then in that same conversation, you hear the man say things like, even my wife has for this, I've not been able to provide it, even my rent is due. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Moral decadence, lack of responsibility, just because he as a person just want to enjoy life, and there is a woman somewhere who actually needs. And when you go to the comment section, you will see people there that, well, you just have to care for the children. No, this ought not to be so, because at the end of the day, if these children eventually find out, because what happens in this case, which is my next point that I'm going to go into now, is children now matured faster these days. At a point, this particular woman will have to begin to introduce, especially if he has girls as children, he begins to push them into this business. She begins to encourage them because it's an easier way to go. It's an easier way to go. And then immediately these children maybe they begin to get into puberty, they become, teenagers, and she can no longer support the care, the financial care for these children. Obviously, even if he has males among them, he will have to, push them out of the house. Children, we have to begin to behave and act as adults because they just have to survive. I have a very sad story again concerning these issues here. There's this young lady that are in the universities. These days a lot of these our young girls in schools are being sponsored by men. They pay their rent, they pay their school fees, everything that has to do, even tuition, everything, the support and care are being taken care by some men somewhere. This situation happened somewhere in this country. What happened is that there was this one of their roommates who introduced them to a man in Ghana. So just imagine your daughter is in school, and then she do to and fro Ghana to go and sleep with a man and then get monetary benefits from some of these things. Eventually, this man, they discover from that conversation that this man is a ritualist. Eventually, one of this lady, I think her name, I don't want to use her name, I don't want to call her name here. She returned after some 2 or 3 weeks. She became mysteriously sick. One could not really diagnose. She was vomiting blood. At the end of the day, maggot was actually coming out from her privates. She died mysteriously. You understand? So the issue is this: when we begins to go, we toe this line where people don't have a choice. We want to survive at all costs. So certain things may be inevitable, but at the same time, it's our collective responsibility that we need to work on our system to work. As I said, I'm not getting to the solutions yet, but you see, anything that will make a man to choose death rather than life does not worth it. It does not worth it. So these things are things that are going on. There's one of our cleaners, she brought all her 4 kids into the job she was even doing. Her salary is not up to 50,000 naira. She has 4 children. Immediately she arrives with these children because the husband is nowhere to be found. The man has jackpot somewhere. The supervisor of the floor begin to tackle her immediately. You can't keep these children here. They are this, they are this. The eldest, which is just like 13, is already now will be the one to act as mother for those children. All the hours that she's not available, because she just have to be at this work to survive. I'm analyzing these things to let us know these are the realities and the situations of our society presently. We are not getting anywhere. We are not getting better. That's just the truth. And the earlier we begin to find solutions to this situation that we are in, the better for us, the better for our presence, the better for our future. I'll go on a very short break. When I return, I'm going to open the phone lines. And if you have something to say, something to contribute, I will be here for that discussion. When I return, I will open the phone lines. So don't touch the dial.
Your voice lingers in the quiet air, like a song that never found its end. I reach for you, but you're not there. Just the echo of when we used to live. I'm holding on to shadows, hoping they could feel like you, but they slip right through. Carve it into every star. If the distance builds a wall, I'll break it down to where you are. Every heartbeat calls you home, though we're worlds apart tonight. If tomorrow ever forgets, I'll remember us for life.
Alright, you're welcome back. This is Prime Parent with Dr. Toyin Ajayi-Osakwe. If you are just joining us, we've been discussing surviving the economic hardship and its effects on parenting and the families. Now, the number to call is 080-5897-5897. You can send up WhatsApp messages. I will read it and then we could engage. If you have queries, if you have complaints, if you have contributions, suggestions, things that we could do when it comes to this present predicament that we are in. Every one of us is in it. It's not just one person. Okay? So let's have a discussion. 080-5897-5897. So still talking about this issue of children getting matured very early. You see the surge of cultism presently. Even today's news, you see this situation that happened in Osun, where people are just, they go in there massacring each other because young boys are now into cultism. They want to identify, and sometimes they want to survive. The home is no longer there to keep, to protect, to watch over. So you see young people as early as 10, 13, 14. They are already wild. They do things with so much, audacity. No respect for rule of law. They don't care. They don't even want to know. And it's just because the family institution in itself is already broken and destroyed. And the forces that are, that are involved has to do with the economy and what we have made of it. There's one of my distant cousin, somewhere in Edo State last year. You understand? He was with us, he grew up with us those days, in those good old days. At the end of the day, begins to mix up with some guys here and there. The eldest brother eventually discovered that he's into cult. He personally has to take him to the police station to take an understatement, write something, to renounce. I think that was all because he spoke to me himself as in the elder brother. Until one evening that we got that he was shot dead right in his barber's shop. A young, promising young man. They just got into the place and then they just take him out. This one now, person where they close to where I know we grew up together. Parents needs to wake up to responsibilities. It could have been very beautiful for people to even, just go off. You don't have to. You don't have to give birth to children. That's the truth. When you know that, okay, you don't have what it takes. You don't have what it takes. So these are the situation presently. Another point here is the increase in divorce rates. People, at the slightest provocation, people are like, look, go your way, I go mine. That patience, you understand, that tolerance, wherein people could put in, let's see how we can work this out, is no longer there. People are ready to throw in and take a work because to a very large extent, emotionally, psychologically, people are being stressed and they are being drained. These things are affecting how we children, what we present life, how we represent life to them, as in what we tell them life is. To the point now that a lot of our young people don't even want to get married. It's one of my friends that was telling me, yes, though he's a little bit older than me, he has a 25-year-old son, and this young man had been telling him in the last 2 years that, look, if it's about getting married, that he should forget about it. I'm telling you that he's not going to do it. That is a mistake to live under the same roof with a woman. Can you just imagine where we are going? Say he had been trying to tell people to talk to him, and then in fact presently he has traveled out. So he said he's just going to get some girls pregnant, let them have babies for him. He will take ownership, and then that the idea of living together, holy or holy matrimony, whether it's holy or it's unholy, because we are all sort of things now. You understand? He says he's not interested, and I could see so many of our young people today, a lot. Now there are a whole lot of them who, they are showing interest, but they have not even been able to support themselves. He can't pay his own rent. He's still squatting somewhere at 35. He can't feed himself adequately. He can't really clothe himself the way he should. You understand? Now you said you want to. No. They tell you when the time comes, you keep on like, after some time, how far now? Leave my matter now. You know what I'm trying to say? This is where we are going as a people, and it's not looking good at all. Another point is lack of family support system. Those are those days that say, holiday maker. You carry your children, you take it to your uncles, you take them to your aunties. Nobody does that again, because if you don't come one law, are you going to provide food that you're going to eat there? You are going to bring. There was one like that. He stopped picking their calls. I can't even sustain the ones here that are eating like termites. You are saying you are bringing. You say you want to bring some people from anywhere. To the point that a lot of growing children now, they are not familiar with their uncles. Exactly. They don't know their aunties. They don't know any extended family member. So we are being fragmented. We are being, we are being choked down. That's just it. Because these things are completely erasing our culture and erasing our bonds. The number again is 0809897 08058975897. I want you to talk to me. If you have any experience you want to share, you have anything you want to say, it will be so nice. I'll go on a very short, that will be the last break I'll be having, and then when I return, I will be running up because my time is limited. Don't touch the dial.
Your voice lingers in the quiet air, like a song that never found its end. I reach for you, but you're not there. Just the echo when we used to live. I'm holding on to shadows, hoping they could feel like you, but they slip right through. If tomorrow forgets your
right, you're welcome back. The number to call is 08058975897. And have been talking about the effects of economic hardship and how it is affecting how we are raising children. Now, talking about our young people having this lethargic attitude towards settling down, as in getting married. I did a kind of a mental survey some times back, and I discovered that I compared the age at which people get married in the Western world, the effect of the age on their family, on how they progress when it comes to their children, at the age at which they have their children, and the kind of benefits they derive from that process, and compare it to ours here. A situation whereby, for instance, now in America, you see young people getting married 23, 24, 25, at 35, at 38, towards going to 40. Some of them are already having a 15, 17-year-old child.
Very true.
You understand what I'm trying to say? You will discover that when those children grow, you understand, and they are able to do something positive. Number one, they raise those children at their prime.
Exactly.
They have enough energy, they have the time to invest on those children.
Very true.
Which is, at the end of the day, the return becomes early. They still enjoy the benefit from these children while they are still healthy and strong enough. Compared to some of our people here at 40, I have some of my younger doctors, there are some 40.
Yeah.
He say he's considering.
A lot of friends. Yeah, 40s.
And then there are some of them who eventually, get married. A 40-year-old man having your first child, you're having your first child at 40. Obviously, you are going to be spending a lot of your retirement also
on the first child.
Do you understand? To care for that child. Another thing is the mortality, because I'm going to talk about this maternal mortality and maternal morbidity. Most of our young women who are there on the queue, several of them, nobody is coming in for them. You understand? And then some of them are having their first child at 35, 36. And then medically, they become high risk when it comes to management. So you will now see increase in cesarean section rates. In my office, when I go in scanning people, doing all this thing, I see scarce. Almost maybe like 5, maybe like 3 out of 5 women. Because they are already old. Medically, physically, biologically. And some of them will have to deal with infertility. My time is up. I will continue next week. And if you want to listen again to Prime Parents on YouTube and also on Facebook, the handle is The Prime Parents. And then you see all our videos there. My name is Dr. Toyin Ajayi-Osakwe. I want to thank Duke for being with me here. And next week is another time. See you then. Goodbye.